On Close-Up this morning, Venus reigns as Queen of Queens. The older Williams sister showed everybody who's boss, soundly beating younger sister Serena in the first ever all-sisters, all-African-American US Open women's final. Here's NBC's Kelly O'Donnell.
Hardcourt sibling rivalry. For the first time in 117 years, sisters competing on opposite sides of the net in a Grand Slam duel. 21-year-old Venus Williams, the defending US Open champ, battling 19-year-old Serena, who took the title in 1999. The showdown, more than family bragging rights, the competition real. In this matchup, age gets the edge. Venus overpowering her younger sister 6'2", 6'4" in just over an hour.
The champion of the 2001 United States Open, Venus Williams.
Venus tempered her usual victory celebration, whispering, "I love you," to the sister she defeated. Reluctant to publicly savor her Grand Slam win.
Because I'm the big sister, I take care of Serena, I make sure she has everything, even if I don't have anything. And
the sister, 15 months younger, gracious in defeat.
I didn't get the moment, so it's all for Venus right now. And there's always a next time, especially in sports, there's always a next year.
Known as the sister sledgehammer for their in-your-face style of play, they've faced off before. Wimbledon last year, Venus won there too. A total of 6 big matches, Venus on top 5 times. At the center of their careers, father and coach Richard Williams. He did not watch his daughters compete for this title, but he has long been the drive behind a dream to belong among the tennis elite.
Yeah, no, straight through it, straight through it.
Since the early days in Compton, California, the girls refining their game for hours and hours each day. Practice made nearly perfect with the world watching.
Venus Williams.
The Williams sisters' 2 new trophies show that being the best in tennis is a family business. For today, Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News, New York.
And Bud Collins joins us from NBC Sports this morning. Good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning to you.
Thank you very much. It was a good match, and it certainly was a historic match, but do you think it lived up to all the hype?
Oh, it wasn't a great match, but it was the best of their 6 as they overcome the psychological barrier, which is very strong. They are closer to each other, I think, than they are to their parents.
Let's talk a little bit about that psychological barrier, because I would imagine when you're playing a sibling, when you're playing someone who's not your sibling, you go out there to win, you go out there to kill them, basically, on the court. When it's your sister, it's got to be hard.
It's very hard. They've been together for so long. I said they ought to have imagined the other person was Martina Hingis, and it would be easy to knock her apart. But they played their best that they've done. They've had some duds before because you could see it was just so tense. They didn't want to hurt each other.
There seemed a point where Serena really could have plowed through, but she kept having so many unforced errors.
Well, she did, and the fact that Venus, despite the rankings, is now the best player in the world, well, Venus lifted her game too, Soledad.
It was shown on network television in prime time. Very unusual. As you were saying earlier, the biggest crowd
ever to watch a tournament final, 23,000 and change.
Why do you think it's so popular now? Is it because of all the drama we hear about sort of behind the scenes with women's tennis, or do you think it's that you look at these women, they are so athletic and so strong?
Well, they are. They're a different breed, and there are lots of rivalries among them. It's a rather tense locker room, but they're so attractive. I think that the Williams sisters, the missing person, Kornikova, is a star, and all the others too. They've come together. They don't have the depth that men's tennis has, but at the top, they glitter.
There was an article 2 days ago in the New York Times that said, "Father knows best." Do you think Richard Williams, who really did something very unusual in the way he raised his girls, let them live a life, did not put them in tournaments from the get-go, took away their rackets when he felt maybe they weren't that interested in the game. Do you think he's now vindicated in the way that he has raised these champions?
Well, I've always felt he was vindicated, and let's not forget the mother, Oracene. She's been just as much an influence as Richard, and she has stayed out of the limelight. He likes the publicity, and he has done. They've both done wonderful jobs. These kids are educated. They speak well. The other night, Serena said, I'm saying, you know too much. And she was going to curb herself. So they're just wonderful kids, and they're attracting a lot of people of every color to the game of tennis.
Let's not forget about the men. There was sort of a grudge match.
Oh, all right.
All
Are
right.
they playing?
The guys played too.
I
didn't
forgot
they?
all about
Men's
them.
semifinals, we had Pete Sampras against Marat Safin. It was really kind of a grudge match because Pete Sampras, essentially humbled by Safin last year.
He was bound and gagged by Safin last year. There was no doubt about that, and he was looking forward to this, and Pete got even all right. And he now plays the boy buzzbomb, Leighton Hewitt, and I think Hewitt's going to give him a tough time, but I think Pete will finally come through to his 14th major title.
You think you pick him to win?
I do pick him to win.
Right.
He's just revived himself against Mikhail Yuzhny, a Russian probably nobody has ever heard of. He had that win. He was serving about 78%, and suddenly it clicked in, and he beat 3 champions in a row, Patrick Rafter, Andre Agassi, and Safin. So I think Pete at 30 is not ready for a walker yet.
Well, that's good, because I have to tell you, I really like Pete Sampras. Bud Collins, always nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Soledad.
Loving your outfit again, as always. And now here's David.